was like, if things don't shape up, I'm going to make her go to couples therapy with me. I really thought that. I was like, we're going to be going to couples therapy together. I don't even care.
I would go because we're in this to win this. Like, this is just the beginning, guys. 2 years and 100 episodes in. Like, we're going to be doing an Instagram Live on July 3rd at 8 p.m. and Facebook Live.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Stand up, girl.
Not break the microphone.
Hey, what's up? I'm MJ.
And I'm Bree.
And we're just a couple of Vegas girls.
Living the not-so-Vegas life.
Yeah, but we're not regular Vegas girls.
We're cool Vegas girls. Kinda.
And this is the Keeping It Casual podcast.
Where we talk about everything and nothing all at once. Let's do it.
I like when you saying it out.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I love that stupid movie.
Cheers to 100 episodes.
I can't believe it because I know when we jumped in it, it was like, we're in it to win it. Let's do this.
Did you guys hear that old intro?
Oh, God, the old intro.
The old intro. Yeah, we decided we needed to put it on episode 100 just for a little nostalgia. And you know what? At the time we did that intro, it worked. But then you guys took us in a direction of you're going to be a sex, dating, and relationship advice podcast.
Yeah.
So we were like, I guess we got to change this.
Well, we knew we were going to talk about sex and relationships, but we didn't really know how it was going to unfold. And
you sent me a text the other day that said drinking because no good story ever started with and I had a salad.
Oh,
and you said, actually, our story begins with salads. And I like that.
I loved it. It was a sex talk salad. Yeah, it was some funny little sign that was like, order a drink because no good conversation ever started with a salad. And it was like, police.
Police. Because that's like, I would have my lunch break and I'd go in and chat with her. We'd have some salads and
I was just on the radio playing my tunes.
And we would just talk about our weird, crazy lives. And then we were like, we should do it on a podcast.
Yeah, we had different plans. We've talked about that in a really fun episode. It was the episode before Keeping It Casual.
The episode before Keeping It Casual. Yes, we talk about that. And you know what? It brought us together, though.
I really am excited. And we've got some excited little juicy tidbits. You guys aren't going to believe what the most downloaded episode of all time is because it's something straight out of 2019. And it recently, like, skyrocketed during quarantine.
And we were like, the fuck?
This is going bananas. So tell me something about what you guys like and what quarantine is, what kind of state of mind quarantine has put you in.
Yes.
So wait till the end of the episode to find out about that. We're starting off this episode with a delicious cocktail, too.
Yes, we are. It is rose lemonade with vodka in it.
Yeah.
And fresh strawberries.
Of course. I mean,
of course.
We got to keep it casual.
And just before we get any more into this episode, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Like a Kitten.
Yes, they're really cool. We just really appreciate them so much. They do these really beautiful seasonal subscription boxes filled with sensual toys and one motorized toy.
They do individual boxes. They had the bridal box that came out in June. They have the birthday boxes. So Cancers, what's up? It's your month.
Oh, yeah.
It's your time to shine. What's up with you?
Yeah.
Thank you to Like a Kitten. Use code KEEPERS20 at checkout for all your Like a Kitten needs. We'll talk a little bit more about them later.
Likeakitten.com. But we're going to be talking about some of our memorable moments and silly things. So we had some questions that we just like threw in a little box and we're going to draw them and just kind of reminisce.
But first, we actually had somebody ask us about two characters that popped up at the very beginning of the podcast. And it was a newer listener who went back and listened to everything. And she said, you guys, what happened to these two people?
Yeah. Okay. So episode 1, I kind of started off with a surprise birthday party that I threw for my girlfriend. And one of the guys drank way too much. And he was like a guy we didn't know. It was just like a friend, you know, a
friend of a friend.
Yeah. He ended up crying and naked in the bathtub. So naked crying in our bathtub.
Yep.
Drank way too much.
Yep.
Somebody was like, what happened to him? And it's funny because I recently found out. I said, whatever happened to that guy? And you guys, good news. He's gotten his life together. He has a girlfriend. They have a baby boy.
What?
Yes. So in the last 2 years.
My God.
And granted, this was 2 years ago.
This was.
It's not only our 100th episode, it is our 2-year anniversary as well.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing an Instagram Live on July 3rd at 8 p.m. and Facebook Live.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, so 2 years later, he's gotten his shit together and he is a family man. So
damn.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Now, the other pondering was from episode
3.
Was it 3? Yeah.
Episode 2 was my favorite podcast.
Oh, yes. Second second chances for everyone. And Bree started off a date.
Well, it wasn't a date. It was
Well-
supposed to be a date. And then he blew me off and said he thought he might have an STD. And we were just all kind of like, well, whatever. And at the time, I had already met my ex, and I was super into him, and I didn't really give a shit about this guy. I was
Yeah.
just dating around because I was trying not to be serious with my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
I should have stuck with that instinct.
Oh.
Aw, you guys went on quite that journey with me. So
Update on STD guy.
I have an update on STD guy. And I've been having this weird thing happen to me where guys I've talked to on Tinder all of a sudden will start showing up as people I may know on Instagram or on Facebook.
Okay.
So this is how I know what STD guy is up to. I just saw like the name and I was like, where do I know that from? I just couldn't remember it. I like remember the like a picture and I was like, who is that? But in the picture, there was
Is it still his Tinder profile picture?
no, there was a woman in the picture. It was like a
Oh.
wedding photo.
Oh.
So I click on it. The motherfucker's been married the whole time.
Wait. What?
He was married with a kid. Back then, he was married
No.
with a kid. Yes.
No.
So I have a theory that men on Tinder who are married will avoid meeting you. If a man on Tinder avoids meeting you for a really long time and comes up with weird excuses like that, he's married. And this is proving my theory right.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I need a sip for that one.
Cheers.
Damn, that was good.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I found out about STD guy and it's really juicy and I want to tell you, but I can't tell you.
I was like, you'll never believe this, but I found out about Bathtub Guy too. Because I was like, so what's up with him? He's like, oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, real good. I was
well,
like,
good for
oh.
bathtub guy. STD guy's a lying, cheating little snake.
What a shithead.
I know.
Ugh. We made fun of him through that whole episode, so whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
Actually, the episode was titled Second Chances for Everybody because, you know,
But it actually talked about bathtub guy as a second chance in that one too. So
it's come full circle.
it's come full circle, you guys. STD
really love
guy
that.
probably does have STDs at that point, and he's
Oh.
giving them to his wife.
What a shithead. And you found him married with kid.
Married with kid, daughter, little girl who's like almost 10 years old
Whoa.
because he was older than me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's some garbage. We will find you and we will call you out.
And actually, I do want to do another throwback from an episode. This happened to me too. So in Erotic City, now I didn't really want to do this throwback immediately, but since we're talking about people that have just been popping up in my You May Knows,
Erotic City with Gina.
I talk about a guy who I kind of gave a blowjob to, and then he told me I was too sexually forward as a woman.
Oh.
Yes, remember that? He was like, he came over to my apartment so we could hook up, and then he told me I was too sexually forward of a woman, and I made him nervous. Well, he popped up on Instagram as somebody you may know, and I was just like, oh, he's living in Florida now, so good for him.
Bye.
Well, and I've just been having these weird things.
I'm from Florida, guys.
I had another guy that I've never talked about on the podcast because I completely forgot he existed. We met at a bar and I was really drunk one night and we made out. Whatever. You know, you meet a guy at a bar, you're drunk, you kiss him, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was like a roadie for the Black Keys and I was like,
What's up with you? Free for
you
lunch?
give me free tickets? Anyways, I was super drunk with him. I was super drunk and I made out with him. And I remember I got weird. I had given him my number before we made out, but like we made out and he like pulled back and he was pretty sober and he was like, you kiss me in the way I want to be kissed.
Oh.
I know.
All right, Sally.
And I was like, what? I remember being drunk and feeling really weird about it. Well, he popped up on the people you may know on my Instagram and I was like, who is this guy? And I went, oh, I know who that guy is.
That's funny. That kind of reminds me of petty reasons to dump somebody. And that's one of my funnest topics that we've gotten into because it's so funny because today I was like leaving Target and there was this Subaru came out with this like surfer low riding, almost looks like a small hearse. Do you know
Oh,
this
yeah.
car? It's kind of like kind of like a cool station wagon looking
Yeah.
car. I remember dating this guy. I remember this is the reason I was like, you don't know me at all. And he goes, whoa, did you see those new whatevers? He's like, I found the perfect car for you. Because at the time I was like getting something new.
Yeah.
And he like referenced that car. And I was just like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like I have an Expedition and a truck. Like I'm a big driving
car girl.
I'm a big driving car girl. And you want me to drive this like low riding surf? What is the station wagon 2.0? I
Dear God.
hate it. I was just like, you don't know me and you're done.
You don't know me at all.
That reminded me of like petty reasons for dumping somebody. And I'm like, God, I love getting into those topics.
I know.
You know, another topic I loved was the sleepover fears.
God.
First night sleepover fears.
I don't even think, like, at this point, I don't think I have any sleepover fears with my current person.
Well, I thought of one the other day,
Hmm.
okay, because I was watching a movie. You know how when you have, like, that one-night stand hot sex at somebody's house? Has it ever ended up, like, you're in a pool or in a shower or something, and all of a sudden you've got half-washed mascara on your face, and then you've fallen asleep, and the fear of, like, waking up with, like, I don't know how I look because I was in the pool all night, or, like, we hopped in the shower for a little bit, and it wasn't, like, a full-on shower where I washed my face and everything.
I've never had that fear, but now I do.
Well, I had that moment and the fear, and I was like, that was you're like, how uncomfortable? You're like, okay, well, I didn't really wash my face in that shower. That was just kind of a fun quickie shower. And
Right.
now I must go home because I look hideous.
Waterproof mascara, and just make sure that your eyes don't go under the water.
Oh, it was impossible. There was, you had to get down low and do things.
Oh, you
and-
guys were fucking in the shower.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Y'all was
about.
fucking in the shower. Oh, okay. Aye. You gotta lead with that. Otherwise,
Oh.
because, like, I have a tendency where, like, after sex, I want to wash off, so I'll be like, let's take a little shower together. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think it mainly like came from like a pool situation where it was
Yeah.
like partying in the pool. All of a sudden it led to the pool and then some sex
yeah.
and then you're like, I look
awful.
terrible. I gotta go home.
You know what the worst is when, like, you're having a one-night stand and the guy gets cum in your hair and you're like, do I ask to use the shower and wash the cum out of my hair? Or do I
Oh.
drive home with cum in my hair?
I don't know. Just don't get it in your eye because that shit burns.
It burns.
The laughter burns too. Like, that's not funny. True story.
With the right partner, it could be funny if he does it on accident. But seriously, like, I've had, like, the cum in my hair situation where I'm like, it's happened with extensions too, and I'm like, motherfucker, I don't want to wash these. The worst is when you get cum in your hair and it's like the day you washed your hair, so you're like, man, I gotta go wash this shit again.
Or sex in a pool and you're like, I just washed my hair.
Yeah.
What is going on? There's so many inconveniences. Like, you really have to prepare. Like, how big of a purse can we carry all of our things in?
Yeah.
You know, it was a fun episode where we actually talked about being like fully prepared for a day, a full-on day, and a full-on night just in case. Do you remember?
Yes. A festival episode.
Barely surviving
a music festival.
Yep.
Aww.
What a fun time. We went to Life is Beautiful out here.
I haven't been to a music festival since.
I don't know next time we will, but we're holding out for it. I can't wait to go. So yeah, let's get into some silly questions,
Yes,
all right? I'm going to
let's
draw
do
it
it.
first.
Yes,
let's
you go
see what we
first.
got. Random silly things that caught on.
Well, thank you to our drinking game. We have a lot of weird things that have caught on. How about it's already sold out?
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is a complete manifestation because when we had our first live show, we were like,
It's going to sell out. It's already sold out.
yeah, it's already sold. Go get tickets, but it's already sold
And
out.
it did sell out.
And it became something we say all the time. It's on T-shirts. It's on our merch.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like if you and your girl are talking about doing something, you're like, let's fucking do it. All
And
you
it's
have to
already
do
sold
is look
out.
at her in the eyes and say, it's already sold out.
What about for you?
Our little crutches that we said all the time.
Oh, let me tell
Like,
you something.
Let me tell you something.
Or
Let's-
men, you need to do better.
men, do better.
Do better.
What else are silly things we said on there?
Girl.
Girl,
Girl.
all the time.
All the time.
Mhm.
Anytime we mention the weather.
We always like to talk about the ambiance
And
we're in
most
right now.
recently, what's up with you, free for lunch? I noticed me saying that in real life. I was hanging out with my friend Alex, and I was like, man, I saw him, and I was like, what's up with you, free for lunch? And
Yeah.
he was like, you've said that like 3 times now. What is that? And
It's
I was
when,
like,
when you see a hottie,
you clearly don't listen to my podcast.
well, when you see like a hottie, but that came from like somebody
it was
texting
dramatic,
a friend of ours.
Yeah, dramatic reads from the text messages.
Yeah, and he was just like came out 5 years like
Later,
was just like, what's up with you, free for lunch?
she was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And he was like, "You don't remember me? Ain't I the goods?"
Oh,
And
I
we were
love
like,
that.
"What?"
So, another saying I love that caught on really good, and we have it on our merch as well. Is do an alternative babe shit.
Do an alternative
'Cause that's
babe
what we do.
shit. Yes.
That's what we do weekly. That's what you do all the time.
I was so drunk when I said that.
We were talking about like the
Suicide
girls.
girls.
You're like, I don't know. They're just like, doing their alternative babe shit. And,
And
we were
you-
like, oh, that's brilliant. What do you got there?
Biggest things we've learned along the way.
Okay. Speaking from what you just said, we used to get hammered fired.
Yeah, we did. When we
coming a little hot.
when we started the podcast, we did not drink because
No.
we would do it in the mornings at the
radio station.
At the radio station.
Yep, we do it before work, and we would get it done, and we would have a half hour, so it was very timely.
Yeah.
You know, and we were just like, okay, we're in and out, and we're done. But then when got fired from the radio station and had to get all the equipment and take it to my house, we were like, you know what? Fuck that.
them.
This is better. We can drink. We can blather on as long
And
as
boy,
we want.
did we drink. And that's another thing. Biggest thing we've learned, watching our time.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We know you guys can appreciate, like, okay, some of our episodes are like, you know, over an hour.
Yeah.
But longest episode ever?
Jamie Ross.
Jamie Ross talked dirty to me. Don't regret a thing.
No.
We got so drunk. It was like an episode of
It was an
Rock
episode
of
of
Love.
Rock of Love. You know what? Another big thing I've learned, and this is just personally, make sure that we put our friendship before the business always.
Yeah, and you know, people probably wondering we work together a
Yeah,
lot, and
yeah.
every friends have little fights or little
Oh,
this
yeah.
and that, but you are the most easiest person I've ever had to work with because I think
Same.
we have such an open communication, and I think one time we had a moment where we weren't talking a lot,
And then we had a really bad like miscommunication where we were trying to talk
and
business.
we snapped at each other.
And then I was like, I got to talk to you later.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever. But yeah, and
Yeah.
you know what happened? It was in the beginning of quarantine.
Yeah, it was.
Because we went from like just being so only a few months ago.
And we hadn't seen each other either because we were Zoom casting and we were this.
We hadn't seen each other. We weren't talking on our regular basis. And you know when like you go from like seeing somebody and being so in
Yeah.
their life and all of a sudden you're so distant.
Yeah.
It's like maybe a quick text that's very short gets
Yeah.
taken like, oh, are they mad at me? You
Yeah.
know, so things like that started to
Yeah,
and we definitely snapped at each other and
Yeah.
then we had the best talk ever.
we did.
And it was just like, I love you and I'm sorry if I am not showing you because
We just
but-
realized we were putting business first and taking other things for granted with each other, I think. And
Well, I think we would just only talk about business.
And we
before
didn't-
we were always we talked
But what
friendship
was-
in between
but
things.
like I think at that time too, neither of us felt like there was anything in our personal lives we needed to talk about.
Everybody was just retreating and
Yeah.
just kind of sulking.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any. Yeah, we had no conversation between the business. So
Yeah,
that was a big.
a big lesson learned.
I think that was good. To
But you know what?
learn.
I think it had almost 2 years. We did pretty good for that being our first like little snap at each
And
other.
that wasn't even anything.
Yeah.
Like, that was just like, we haven't really had a heart to heart in a while
Yeah.
about anything but business in weeks. And it was time to
Yeah.
be like, what's wrong? Are
Yeah.
we
Why
mad?
aren't we connecting? It's not only do we have this business with each other, we have a friendship, and this is a relationship, and
Yeah.
so we do need to check in with each other, just as a husband and wife, or
Yeah.
you and your spouse need to check in with,
Yeah.
in with each other. You and your partner need to check in with each other. Whatever.
Yeah.
We still need to do that with each other, and you know what? You need to do that with any of your friends. I mean, I had to pop off on one of my really good friends another time a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
because she said something that like really pissed me off, and I just
Yeah.
sometimes it fucking happens, but don't just be that bitch that
Yeah.
it keeps happening. But
and you know what? When somebody's worth it,
yeah.
suck up your pride and be like,
I'm sorry.
I want it. But sometimes you need a minute
Yeah.
because don't rush it because
Yeah,
if
no.
she's not ready to talk or you're not ready to talk, it's not going to be the right time. But just hold space for them. And
Yeah.
because we all go through our emotions. I
Yeah.
mean, hello, what is a relationship? That's what it is. And something as close as us with working like this, but
I was like, if things don't shape up, I'm gonna make her go to couples therapy with me. I really thought that. I was like, we're gonna be going to couples therapy together. I don't even care.
I would go because we're in this to win this. Like this is just the beginning, guys. 2 years and 100 episodes in, like
Yeah.
we've stayed consistent weekly from you on a few days off, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, we had to, a few weeks ago. We needed to take some time off because
Yeah.
nobody wanted to hear our shit.
We just needed to shut the hell up, okay?
Yeah.
And then we took some time and we're like, let's come back and let's.
let's be us.
Yeah, I've learned that we like to start the podcast with a cocktail with you,
Yeah.
but not come in maybe 1 or 2 deep.
Which is something that we kind of were doing for a while too. I think Jocelyn's episode was the last one we were like, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah, have a shot.
Yeah.
And then we're bullshitting. And then when
Yeah.
our guests get there, we'd have another shot with them.
Yep.
Then we'd
Yep.
make a drink and hit the podcast. So by that time, we were lit. And I think she was running just a little bit behind.
And we kept drinking.
And then by
And
the time,
she's not a drinker.
by the time she got on, we were like, wow!
Yep.
But-
And she was like, what the fuck kind of podcast is this?
Yeah, but we hope we've continued to give you solid content and just real talk. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you've stuck with us through this whole thing, just
Yeah.
love and appreciate you so much.
Yes, we we do. And you know, and I think another thing I've learned is personally, it's okay to be vulnerable and show yourself.
And you've been huge with opening that up for me because
you.
I always told you the most present I feel in my life is right here.
Yeah.
When we talk. Because
Yeah.
it's like, we're here, we have an appointment to talk. It's a full-on focused conversation. Where else can you do that in your life?
Therapy.
Okay.
Seriously. Like, no, seriously, therapy.
But there's a lot of resistance with therapy sometimes on one end or the other.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like almost 10 years into therapy. I'm good with it. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, you're going to listen to my shit.
Yeah.
So buckle up, buddy.
But say for couples,
Yeah.
there's a little bit there.
Oh, yeah.
With this, I always look forward to it. And things unravel, and I've learned a lot from our guests.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from our listeners and just all these different perspectives, and it just makes doing this so much fun.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I
but
do too.
I'm lucky to have Bree by my side.
I'm lucky to have you too.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Let's move on. We could just be like gushy towards each other all the time.
We truly have a friendship, and you're a part of it,
Yeah.
okay? Most memorable moments. Can I say having a fucking earthquake happen while we were...
Yeah, you can.
MJ's eyes like rolled in the back of her head, and I was like, the apocalypse.
She was so freaked out. And I was like, I was just chilling here. I was like, oh, it's an earthquake, y'all.
I'm from Florida. We look over, and the pool is rippling with
We just,
waves.
well, it just kind of felt like we were shaking a little bit. And I was like, oh, I think we're having an earthquake. And then the pool's rippling. And she was just like, we ended up wrapping up the episode pretty quick.
We were
after
with
that.
Echo.
We were with Echo.
Echo and his girl Meg. It was a really
so we
fun
got
couples
off.
episode.
We got off the mics pretty quick. Echo and his girl. I was like, okay, you guys just be careful driving home because there might be aftershocks. And they were like, we'll be fine. We don't live that far from here. So they get home. Like MJ's like freaking out because she had never been through an earthquake. At
I
this
just
point.
started like doing the dishes really intensely.
And I was like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, I just, and I was like, oh, I was like, I'm more I'm afraid.
I was afraid.
She was afraid. I was like, man, I'm more afraid of hurricanes than that. I was like, that wasn't even a strong earthquake. I've been through them tough.
I mean, well, in Florida, it's like a hurricane's coming. They're like 2 weeks out. You're like preparing. You're like, oh my God, it's
Boarding
coming, it's
everything
coming.
up,
And then
you know.
it misses, But an earthquake is just like, I just picture like the floor is going to crack and I'm going to fall in the middle of it.
Oh my God, you've watched way too many movies.
I'm going to get sucked into the earth. It's so freaky.
That's a thing in Florida that freaks me out is
Landslides?
no, when the landfill or sinkholes.
Oh.
Sinkholes are big in Florida.
That's true. We are below sea level.
Sinkholes scare me.
Earthquakes, no biggie.
No biggie. I've lived through tons of earthquakes.
Just the earth opening up and swallowing you. No biggie.
But that's what sinkholes are too.
Slowly, time to run. An earthquake just eats you. There's a shark attack, and then there's drowning. One's just gonna eat you.
You know what's super funny is one of the last earthquakes we had. I was FaceTiming with a friend, and I thought I had felt an earthquake, and I was like, man, I don't think that was. It was probably like a muscle spasm. I told myself that because I remember I was like FaceTiming with my friend, and I wouldn't want to be like, did you feel the earthquake? And be like, there had not been an earthquake. So I was like, nah, that was a muscle spasm. And then I went to bed, woke up the next morning, my friend texted me. He's like, so I guess there was an earthquake last night, and I was like, dude, I thought I felt one, but I didn't want to seem like an insane person.
It was at dinner, and Chris told me, and I had that same spazzy reaction. I just got up and started like doing dishes, and I was like holding Logan and like rocking him. I'm like, we're gonna die. What's wrong with me? This is my Southern
Florida.
Baptist upbringing.
This is Florida.
Some of that stuff still creeps. Some of that craziness still creeps in my mind. I'm like, what if? No.
You know what? Memorable moment, doing a sold out fucking live show, two, but
Yeah.
the first one.
Both of them sold out, but the first one we had no idea that it was going to happen.
Well, we
and-
did because we manifested it.
Yeah,
but
we said
whatever.
it's already sold out, and it happened.
Another really good memorable moment I want to say is most recently the episode we did on, not most recently, we did this back in January. How long is it now? The episode we did on mental health I thought was very good and
Check
dedicated.
in with your mental health.
Yep, that we did
Yeah.
for our friend Brittany. I thought that was a great episode.
I-
Talk about being vulnerable in an episode. That and the break episode. Like
Yeah.
we both sat down and were like, shit guys, this is life.
Yeah, that was I wasn't ready for a cry fest, but it was just me and Bree found ourselves in a place of like despair and like
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
were so heartbroken, and it was
Yeah.
a very like almost I would say like kind of embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed. It was just so real, and
Yeah.
you could either listen to us cry or you'd be like, not in for it today.
Yeah.
But if you need to relate to some heartache or loss of a job or something like that,
Yeah.
the break episode was pretty powerful.
The episode we did checking in on your mental health, that was also a
Yeah.
very powerful episode.
Yeah.
I feel like I was at my most vulnerable in that episode. I mean,
Yeah.
I was very vulnerable in the break episode, but
Yeah.
I was still not admitting things to myself that were real.
A year later, you had more like accepted things and
Yeah.
were okay. Sometimes it's hard to talk about things in the moment. You know, it's like it's okay to talk about it. It's more funnier later. But in
Yeah.
the moment, it ain't so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, hold on. Memorable moment. How about when we're at Tivoli Village and all of a sudden O.J. Simpson walks into the bar?
Yes.
I was like, oh my God. Bree's like, I'm going to go get a picture with him. I was like, you stay away from him.
And I was like, but it's OJ. It's OJ. Let's go talk to the Deuce. I hate him. He's a murderer. And then I was like, wait, you're blonde. Wait, you're a blonde white woman. We can't do this.
I'm blonde, and spoiler alert, my real name is Nicole. So I
Yeah.
was definitely staying
She's
away
like,
from
no,
him.
no, not happening.
FYI, guys, MJ was my radio name from like 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
that's what sticks.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like anytime somebody calls you Nicole, I'm like, wait, because I've always known you as MJ.
Because we met in radio.
Yeah.
I swear more people in my life called me MJ at one point than even Nicole. Very
Yeah.
few people except for my family and people I met outside of that world. So it's,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yes, you're not Nicole in my phone. You're MJ in my phone.
I don't sound right coming out of your mouth.
No. I'm Brianna Nicole.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's funny. OJ.
Okay, so memorable moment. Another memorable moment was dressing up as two broke girls at the second live show.
Which okay, you guys,
Bree?
we promised that to you 4 months
Yeah.
before we did it. We promised you we were going to dress up as two broke girls because we said this dumb thing. We're
you.
going to call this episode Two Broke Girls. Maybe, you know what's funny is we are kind of like those characters. Like I'm totally Kat Dennings and you're totally Caroline and I'm Max. Come on, that is so our personalities.
That is funny.
I'm slutty and sarcastic.
Oh
and
my
you're,
God.
And you're like, let's dream big. And then we're like, that's what we're doing for Halloween,
you're like,
and we
those
did. That is us.
Wow.
Like, that's true. That is true. And so we did it for you. This year, I mean, if we have Halloween, I don't know what we're going to do. The Shining Twins?
We were talking about
Romy and Michelle.
Romy and Michelle. Gem and the holograms. Gem and Pizzazz.
We also talked about Paris and Nicole
That would be fun.
on the cover of Simple Life.
It's hot.
Yeah, that's hot.
Who would we be? Would I have to be Paris?
You would be
Posey?
Paris, and I'd be Nicole
yeah.
Richie.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nicole's way cooler, though.
For sure.
Nicole's are always cool.
Especially if your middle name's Nicole.
That's right. Or your real name's Nicole. You never get to use it.
Next question.
Next question.
Podcast questions we get a lot. How do you start? That is a question
how do
we
you
get
start?
a lot.
Okay.
How do you start? How do you start a podcast? That's really one of the first questions I always
Yeah.
get. People come to me and they're like, I want to start a podcast. I'm like, okay, start a podcast. Well, what do I do?
First thing, decide what you want to talk
Decide
about.
what you want to talk about. Yeah, decide what you're going to do. Like, if you're going to do a research podcast, you got to be in it to win it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know that you have got to set time. Like, we don't have a research podcast.
No.
We research a few things if we need to talk about it for a subject.
Sure.
But if you are going to do like a true crime podcast or like our girls in For the Muses podcast, you have to read the books, you have to read the articles, you have to do all these things. And y'all, if you're going to do a research podcast, you got to know what you're doing there.
Pick a topic that you're passionate about enough
Yeah.
to talk about weekly.
Yeah, or bi-weekly. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. Reason I didn't do the Sharing Secrets podcast is because I realized that my idea was to get guests on to fuel my podcast every week, right? You're not going to get anybody as committed as you. So unless you plan on having a solo podcast where it's just you talking, then do that. But if you're depending on guests, just random guests to be part of it, it's not going to happen.
You're not going to be consistent.
You're going to fall apart because you're depending on other people that this is not their priority.
Yep. And so another thing I would say is be consistent with your podcast.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
You expect us to release an episode every Wednesday, and damn it, we treat that shit with respect, okay?
Yes, we do.
We deliver for you. And make sure you're ready to do it. You know, you can get a cool podcast host. It's pretty much like if you were going to have a website, you need to have a podcast host to get your feed out there. And there's a lot of tips and tricks and tools, and, you know, Google it.
Or if you want to pay us.
We'll help you out. We'll help you out. We got a little consulting firm. But, you know, that's some good tips. If you are going to start it, make sure you're in it to win it. If you want to do it with a partner, make sure they're
because
down
if you
too.
have a partner that's half committed, then that's going to be problematic too.
Yeah, I mean, if they're anything like Bree, you lucked out, and
But it's hard
to find the partner
It's hard
like
to find
that.
partnership. I mean, how many co-hosts did you go through before you found that right partnership? Years
Oh, yeah.
of radio. I mean, I'm not talking about in the podcast.
Those
world.
weren't partners I picked. Those were people you'd throw
But
together.
still,
Except for my first one, Patrick. God, he was the best.
see, and yeah, and
Cheers to Patrick.
Cheers to Patrick. Your partner has to be in it as much as you are.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to find each other, like find jobs that balance each other out. Like, I don't edit. I don't edit.
Yeah,
MJ edits.
I'm the technical girl, and she's more of our social media, and she likes to write and stuff. So
Yeah.
she handles our blogs on our website and stuff.
And
so
the photoshopping and all that stuff.
Yeah.
See, all that stuff I love.
yeah, I'm like
And-
website builder, or taking the show notes, and doing. I'm good at doing the show flow of things, like here and here and here and here. You know, like-
Yeah. She's if we have to make an intro or we have to make a
Yeah.
commercial, we're both very good at writing commercials together, though. I
Yes.
will give us that.
Damn right we are. We have a lot of things we team up on, but we
Yeah.
balance a lot of the responsibilities out. And you got to make sure you're not doing everything. You can be pissed.
Yep, because if you're the one doing everything and your co-host just comes, it's gonna be like that dad caller daddy.
Oh
Yeah.
Ugh.
You're gonna have a caller daddy situation.
R.I.P..
You don't want that. Well, the podcast is still going. Just one of the hosts is gone now.
Yeah. You don't want that. So
Mm-mm.
it is a lot of work. You have to be committed, and you have to find somebody you trust to commit it with.
Yeah.
So, Bree and I are starting couples counseling next week. No,
No, we're not.
no, we ain't there yet.
No.
Maybe in a few years, right?
Maybe 10 years down the line. 10 years into this marriage.
All right, one more little question to answer before we get into the number one most downloaded episode of all time.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Who's ready for the monthly Keeping It Casual swag giveaway?
I know I am.
The last Wednesday of every month, except for this month, because
we miscalculated how many Wednesdays were in the month. I don't know.
does anybody know? I mean, it's fine. But the last Wednesday in July, the next winner will be announced. And all you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts, rate and review. Once you do it, you're entered every single month.
We're going to be hooking up some very sweet Keeping It Casual swag giveaway.
Also, a very tasty treat from Like a Kitten.
I'm so excited. So, do you want to know who this month's winner is?
Made. Draw.
Everything in One by Alyssa Marie 15.
Oh, hello.
You get everything in this podcast, which is why I love it. It's therapeutic and you don't even realize it. You laugh, you cry, you connect, and most importantly, you learn, oh my God, these ladies keep it real and keep it fun. Oh my God.
I think our lash is going to fall off.
Thank you so much,
Aw,
Alyssa
thank
Marie.
you.
Go ahead and email us your address to feedback@keepingitcasualpodcast.com.
Keep rating, reviewing on Apple Podcast, and we'll get you in the drawing.
And we'll talk to you next month. Most memorable episode.
Oh, we talked about a little bit of that in moments, but
Yeah.
first episode that just comes to your head.
Maite.
Oh, my
Interviewing Maite.
Interviewing Prince's first wife was just like, and she was like the coolest girl next door vibe.
Yeah.
Like, just she has this beautiful, like a J-Lo, you know.
Well, what was so
God, she's
great
so
about
cool.
that episode is we were so freaked out because we're sitting there waiting for her to show up and we're like, she's not going to show.
Yeah, she's not gonna show.
We're like 5 minutes before.
5 minutes late. Yeah.
Yeah, she's 5 minutes late. She's not going to show. We don't matter to her. She's not going to show. She's not going to show. And she comes in and then she's like, we're like, okay, we'll give you like 45 minutes. We don't want to take up too much of your time. And then she's like, no, I want to keep going. I want to keep going. And we were just like, oh,
Yeah.
oh God.
Yeah. We wanted to check in with her,
Yeah.
and what a gem. What a
Yeah.
genuine, beautiful person.
I
and
know.
we put these people with these huge lives that are just so bigger than us to
Yeah.
imagine on like a pedestal or just something out there. 'Cause she's a massive fan club too. You
Yeah.
know? People are crazy for my take.
Yeah.
But just to sit there with her, and she was just so human with us, and open and silly. And she even talked about, we were like, we're not going to make this all about Prince,
No.
because we realize she's such an,
You've got a story.
yeah, she has her own story. It's not just, oh, how was it being with Prince? And she opened up about it on her own. And
Yeah.
then she talked about Tommy Lee, dating Tommy Lee. And
Yeah, she did. And
That
why
was
they broke
cool.
up. She was like, he was going to go write his book. And I was like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
Like when she said that, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And she said, fuck that guy about my ex-boyfriend. I was very honored for that.
Yeah.
I got Prince's first wife to tell my ex-boyfriend to go fuck himself.
Yeah. And that was for a while our most downloaded episode of all time.
Not anymore, though.
No, not anymore. And the break episode was a hot one.
Yeah, and that's like number 10 now.
Yeah,
Which
episode
is-
1.
Episode 1's doing good still.
Um,
I'm happy the break episode is not one of the most downloaded episodes anymore, because even though I just said I loved it because we were
Yeah.
at our most vulnerable,
Yeah.
like when it was the most downloaded episode, I was like, just people love my misery? Is that what's going on?
yeah. Well, and one of my girlfriends from the radio station, she's like, we couldn't wait to hear the episode when you got fired because everybody was like, what? You fired MJ?
Yeah. No, well, yeah. So we like did this episode.
You guys was on the radio for like 60 years. No, it gets longer every time.
75 years, guys. There hasn't been a studio booth around here in 25 years, guys.
They were all waiting for me to just talk shit, but you know.
We should have. You didn't have a lot of shit to talk. You were sad about losing your job, but you weren't like, fuck everybody I work with.
Yeah, no, that's not for the podcast.
No. No. Well, and you know what's so funny about that episode too is like I've listened back to it, and like I said, there was a lot of things. I have. Oof. There was a lot of things I wasn't facing then, and I listened back to it, and I was like, "Damn, I was still protecting my ex-boyfriend."
Mm-hmm. And then a couple weeks later, you found out what was really going on.
The truths.
Yeah.
But the day we dropped that episode was the last time I saw him before we ran into him randomly at Cherry Boom Boom. I had to see him because he was giving me some of the money back he owed me. I'm not even gonna I'm not protecting him anymore. I have a new guy in my life who's fucking amazing. I don't need to protect this motherfucker anymore.
No.
He was like, yeah, so I saw the title of your podcast episode, and I was like, yeah, and he was like, I listened to it, and I was like, this is how I feel. That's how I felt. I was like, we recorded that probably 3 days after we broke up, and he was just like, and then into this whole thing, I'm still in love with you.
Okay. Another episode I loved was Sex Talk with the Brat and Switch because we shared our BDSM quiz.
I think that's when we really kind of became a sex podcast. Like we had talked a little. We were just talking about our lives, and that one was like, oh, people like to hear us talk about sex.
Well, we were gonna and then we loved that BDSM quiz so much we wanted all of our guests to take it and then come on and share.
Didn't really work out very well.
Didn't catch on, but it did. It did come on.
Yeah.
A lot of them took it and it was fun. And
yeah,
then it faded away, and then we got into more of like your sex personality type. That was a fun episode.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
I loved it too.
You know what? That was our first episode we could see each other outside of quarantine.
Oh God, yeah, it was so good.
It was our first non-Zoom podcast when things started lifting and we were able to like be in each other's presence again. And I felt it was a very honest episode. I loved that both of us knew what our sex personality types were before we even read through them.
I know.
And then we were right.
And it was fun to like take that journey. And another one that stands out to me was the catfish episode.
Oh my God, yes.
Catfish episode was we called it Catfish the Podcast.
Yes.
And it was just some true stories that are just I think there's a lot of people that have had some catfish scenario. Maybe they've gone really extreme, maybe they've been little, but that one was bad. I mean, we said it was your friend, but then we've later on said it was your sister. It was my sister. She's okay. She's past that. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
We're okay.
So we admitted it was her sister. And then I told my catfish story, which was with a person who was the person in his pictures. The British prick.
Oh, God.
Still with his wife.
You know, another episode I loved was when we were expecting a guest and we had curated all these fun getting to know you
That was the
questions
O.J.
for her.
Simpson.
It was the O.J. Simpson episode.
Yes, it was. And I was like, when she didn't show up, I was like, see, if we would have made friends with O.J., we could have O.J. on the podcast right now.
But we had the best, because we weren't planning on answering our own questions.
Nope.
And that was a lot of fun. We did a getting to know you episode earlier.
Yeah,
I think it was 7.
Yeah.
But that was what we planned. So not planning and having all these questions to answer ourselves, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we talked about our celebrity three-ways. We talked about all kinds of stuff, which I now would love to be in a celebrity three-way with Jason Momoa and
New celebrity three-way?
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, because I said Rebecca Gayheart and her ex-husband. I was like, I'd be in that celebrity three-way.
Now you're switching?
Now I'm switching to Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. Is that who he's married to? Yeah, Lisa Bonet. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take that vibe and go with Sofia Vergara and Joe Montecalvo. That's probably who I said last time, though.
I think it is. But I still support that celebrity three-way.
I still do.
See, but I think Jason Momoa is hot. But Lisa Bonet's fucking gorgeous.
I know. She's beautiful. So is her daughter.
So is Zoe Kravitz.
Forget about
God.
it. Yeah.
Guys.
There's so many I can't even,
I know.
I can't even catch them all.
I was scrolling through our episodes, and I was just like, oh my God, we're at 100.
I know.
We're at 100. We're at 100. I can't believe it.
I love that, and something fun. I was looking at all the titles, and I was like, our titles are pretty awesome.
They're pretty funny.
We name every guest episode a song title, if you'll notice.
And you know what we did? There was one episode we named after a song that was not a guest episode, and it was Get Off, and it was a juicy episode.
Oh, about masturbation.
I
also titled another one Back in the Saddle Again, not even realizing the Aerosmith song.
Oh.
But it was just the perfect perfect title for it.
Because I think I was talking about getting banged again or something.
Sex in and Out of the City. We talked about like the best hot movies that lead to sex. We've had
lot of
an
sex.
incredible, sexy, and fun journey.
You know what I have to say is I've had a lot of people say to me that they like the way we talk about sex because we talk about it naturally as if you were talking to your girlfriends about it. We're not disgusting about it. They say like other podcasts like Call Her Daddy talk about it really gross. And
we're
then
not
like,
trying to be vulgar and disgusting.
exactly. But we're also not trying to be super technical. Like we love sex with Emily, but
Oh,
she's
yeah.
a very technical sex talker.
She's a doctor, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
need that talk. But okay, all right. Here, what was
Episode
it?
69.
What shit show? Shit show. We had a porn star lined up
Oh, God.
who flaked on us last minute.
Last second. She was like, on my
And
way.
then I was like, half hour later, so you coming? No. Okay. Or did she even message
No,
back?
she never responded to us again. She was on her way. She's still alive. Don't worry, guys. She didn't get like some weird.
Still on her way, maybe.
She's still on her way. She was only like 10 minutes down the road. Maybe she just doesn't know how to follow directions. I don't know.
And again, we did that thing where we were drinking, waiting for our guest, and by the time the
Oh,
guest
God.
didn't show up, we were pretty tanked, and we were like, well, by that time we should have been over. The podcast should have been done.
Yeah.
So we're starting the podcast at that moment.
And we're
was
like-
midday.
It was
And
midday.
I
We
think
were
did
day drinking.
Instagram Live on a Friday afternoon while people are normally working, and
They watched us, though.
we were Instagram Live drunk talking about anal beads, blowjobs, and all kinds of your sex questions you sent us. And I was like, this is the most inappropriate, off-time, drunken conversation for anybody. Like, people are like, this is not safe for work. Like, I don't know what anybody thought about that episode, but it was a big shit show.
I actually
and it was
had
super fun.
a keeper review of that episode because one of our keepers sent me a little note and was like, "Hey, so listen to that episode in the in the line for the bank." She's going to the drive-up teller at the bank, and
Oh, God.
and like we're talking about like, oh, just ease the anal beads
Slowly ease
in.
it in. That was Bree's idea. She's like, episode 69. What are we doing? We're like a couple of landmarks.
Yeah.
Episode 69 and episode 100. So at least this one's not a complete shit show.
No, we're still
was
working on our one cocktail,
We
guys.
are. We've become so classy.
Yeah.
Now, the number one most downloaded episode of all time. This episode triple, quadrupled, went viral, went insane
During quarantine.
during quarantine, which tells us a little bit about what you want more of. It was
Boats and hoes.
Boats and Hoes featuring Las Vegas publicist Michelle Wilmoth.
Yes.
Who's yours?
I think probably Samantha.
You are very Samantha. I love it.
Was anybody Carrie?
I think I'm a Carrie. You call me your Carrie Bradshaw.
You are a bit of Carrie. You're very couldn't help but wondering.
I'm probably oddly cross between Charlotte and Samantha.
I don't see any Charlotte in you at all.
I feel like with her BDSM test, she was like, "Fuck, I'm a little Charlotte."
You guys want you must love our female entrepreneurs.
You want to know more about building a business,
Yep.
how to get your brand built,
Yep.
your entrepreneurial spirits. We hear you.
Yes.
And we've got some things lined up as
Yes,
soon as
we
we can
do.
get into more gatherings.
Yes.
Because we haven't done a guest episode in a while
No.
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
I think we have some things lined up that we really want to share with you.
Yes, we do.
All the sex and relationship is going to come, but we know you want to know how to be your own boss and run
Yep.
your own business and do your own thing. And
Yep, and so do
wanna
we.
support that. Yeah, so do we. So I know all the trade secrets, and it was just a really fun episode. And I just really
That was.
I love Michelle so much.
I know Michelle would give us all of her clients, and
Yeah.
then we would always be like, "Well, where do we get you on?" And she'd be like, "Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
not." And finally, she let us. Do
No,
it.
not me. And she just sat back and was like, "Oh, it's just me," Because
Yeah.
she's like the woman behind the scene that
She's-
helps you build your brand.
Yep,
and
she's who
build your
gave us
market.
Cherry Boom Boom. She gave us Kelsey. She gave us a bunch of the people coming in. So
Yeah, so we really appreciate and love and respect her.
Yes, we
and
do.
She's taking us up the charts right now.
Yes, she has.
And we love you, Michelle. We appreciate you. But also, before we go, don't forget our 2-year live on Instagram and Facebook. It is going to be Friday, July 3rd at 8 o'clock.
We are looking forward to seeing you guys.
Share your favorite episodes, or if you have a little advice or any kind of feedback, send it to the DMs now and we can get you featured on that live chat.
Yes. Until next time,
Happy 100th.
happy 100th.
Bye.
Hi, this is Michelle, former guest and friend of Keeping It Casual. I am just here to wish you a very, very happy second anniversary and cheers to 100 episodes. Keep it going, ladies.
Oh, good times. We hope you related.
If so, let us feature you. Email us at feedback@keepingitcasualpodcast.com or show you're a keeper on Facebook. Like the Keeping It Casual page and join the group.
Yes, bonus. If you rate and review on Apple Podcasts, you get into our monthly Keeping It Casual swag giveaway. It's the last Wednesday of every month.
More hookups when you share us on your Instagram stories at Keeping It Casual Podcast.
That's right. Find me anywhere socially at MJ Radio Diva.
And I'm everywhere at Bree Mixed, BreeMixed.
Keep it casual.
Bye.